It's finally Friday.
It's Friday, Friday.
Thank God it's
Welcome back to the Friday Show, presented by Woodbine. I'm Scott Jagow, along with Ray Paulick. Coming up, we're going to talk about jockeys not riding out their mounts. But first, let's discuss this article this week at Thoroughbred Racing Commentary by Bob Ehalt. Several comments in there from the players in last year's Triple Crown run with American Pharoah, Bob Baffert and Victor Espinoza and Ahmed Zayat. Maybe some people thought that they were one big happy family during this run, but not so much. What did you think?
Well, first of all, I have to tip my cap to Bob for getting all three parties to open up about this, something that a lot of people probably wish they hadn't done, because what it revealed was a very dysfunctional group. Victor Espinoza said that Ahmed Zayat wanted to fire him. Zayat said Baffert wanted to fire him. Baffert said Victor was getting greedy. The whole, that he wasn't showing up and taking his job seriously, and he was focused too much on Dancing with the Stars and media celebrity, something that maybe Bob Baffert got a little jealous about.
Well, it can't come as great surprise. Maybe some people had blinders on, and in a good way, just focus on the horse, because we know these connections. They had history going into the Triple Crown. Lots of media coverage about gambling issues with Zayat. There was media coverage regarding Baffert about the mysterious deaths of several horses in a short period of time. So it's not that surprising. And if you look back even to Secretariat, the most revered of all Triple Crown winners, we found out years later that the owner, Penny Chenery, was sleeping with the trainer. So these things happen. It's human nature.
Yeah, it was a bizarre ride in a way. Remember the Burger King guy standing in Baffert's box, paying them $200,000 for that? Now the money went to charity, which is good. And that same day, Victor said that he was giving his earnings from the Triple Crown to charity to the City of Hope Cancer Hospital near Santa Anita. And then later on in the year, Zayat said that he was going to donate $100,000 to the National Turf Writers and Broadcasters Association to start up a scholarship program. So, which he hasn't paid yet, by the way, from what I understand. But, even the charity angles had a little weirdness to it.
Well, to put a final point on this, even now, Zayat in that article talked about California Chrome and how he couldn't breathe the same air as American Pharoah. Please stop. If you had run the horse this year, they would have faced each other, and then you could make your argument on the racetrack. But don't make it now. And also, he's got a tweet out there recently, where he's complaining about not winning. He just won the Triple Crown.
I have this advice for Ahmed. Delete your account. Don't go online and complain about you can't win a race.
Exactly.
That is ridiculous.
All right, let's move on and talk about an article you wrote this week, Ray, about jockeys not riding out their mounts and how that's enforced in the U.S. versus, say, Hong Kong. You had an example from Hong Kong where a jockey was suspended for 3 months for not riding out. I want to watch what happened here and see if you agree with their decision.
Electronic Phoenix went to the lead. Good Fit up the inside. He might blow them all out. Electronic Phoenix and Good Fit, they've hit it together. Dragon Harmony might have just clung on to that, but Master Gold ran a bit of a race and got close. Then True Comment. There's a bit going on, wasn't there?
So, Ray, when you see this, the jockey stands up there at the end. They gave him a 3-month suspension. Was that warranted?
This was his fourth violation in his career, the third one since 2012. And the stewards thought maybe there was a little more to it than just not finishing. Maybe he did some stuff in the final furlong that he wasn't trying his hardest. But the stewards there look at these races very carefully. There's a ton of money bet in Hong Kong, and they don't just look at the winner and the second place horse. They look at every horse in the race to make sure that every jockey is giving his best effort and every horse has the chance to give its best finish. I don't think our stewards do that.
Well, you compared it to a recent incident at Los Alamitos where Kent DeSormo was on a mount and he was fined $500 for not riding out. And you can see it here. It does look like he's kind of done there at the end and isn't riding out. Well, what happened here is that 1-2 favorite that he was on finished fourth instead of third. And somebody bet a lot of money to show on that favorite. So it does matter. It affects the trifecta and the superfecta. And when there are two types of this kind of not riding out. There's the unintentional where you misjudge the finish line. But I think it's worse when I see a jockey look like he is not trying to finish out. And I don't mean by whipping, because we also have the issue of over whipping. We don't want to see that. But just look like he's kind of easing up.
Yeah, I think too many jockeys think that I didn't win, doesn't matter. It does matter. Finishing second matters, finishing third matters, fourth and fifth. It's not just the betting money, it's the owner's money too. And this particular incident probably cost the owner of that horse more than the fine was, in fact. So, there's a reason it's called the finish line. Ride out to the finish, not 10 yards before the finish. Ride out to the finish, period.
But again, this really goes back to the stewards and the enforcement of this. If you're going to fine a jockey $500, that's not much of a deterrent for him or her to do that in the future. So we're really focused on that because, as you say, it really does matter. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Show presented by Woodbine. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.